Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Nebraska State Board of Education Board meeting. Denise, can we have the roll call, please?
John Witzel,
Here.
Patricia Tim,
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran.
Present.
Patsy Ko-Johns,
Yes.
Lisa Fricke,
Here.
Maureen Nichols,
Present.
Patrick McPherson,
Present.
Rachel Wise,
Present.
Commissioner Bloomstead.
Present.
All present.
Thank you, Denise. Let us all stand now for the Pledge of Allegiance. Information regarding the Open Meetings Act is posted on the east wall of this room on the south side of the door. Live web streaming will be available through the State Board of Education website. I need to remind board members to engage their microphones before speaking and turn them off when they are done speaking. And please turn off your cell phones immediately. Thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the February 1 through 2, 2018 State Board of Education meeting?
So move.
Second.
Denise, please call roll.
Wise,
Yes.
Ko-Johns,
Yes.
Witzel,
Yes.
McPherson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Fricke,
Yes.
O'Halloran.
Yes.
8 yes.
Thank you very much, Denise. Commissioner Bloomstead, are there any recommended changes for today's agenda?
There are actually two items to remove. Just one of them is item 7.2, as we didn't have any recommendations from the legislative committee for actions on stances on legislation. And then item 10.1, which was meetings that occurred in the past that we do approval. We were actually in error. Pat Tim was not able to attend that particular meeting, so there's no reason for action on that item. So.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there a motion to approve today's agenda with the recommended changes?
So moved. Second.
So moved and second. Is there any discussion? Denise, please call roll.
Nichols,
Yes.
McPherson,
Yes.
Wise,
Yes.
Witzel,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
O'Halloran,
Yes.
Ko-Johns,
Yes.
Fricke,
Yes.
8 yes.
Motion passes. Policy Committee, John Gale Appreciation Resolution. Patricia Tim will read the resolution.
The policy committee has prepared a resolution. The policy committee has prepared a resolution in appreciation for all of the work that Secretary of State John Gale has done for the students of our state. And I would ask that we approve the motion, and then I would ask that we approve the motion, and then I will ask John to come forward.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
O'Halloran,
Yes.
Ko-Johns,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
McPherson,
Yes.
Wise,
Yes.
Fricke,
Yes.
Witzel,
Yes.
Tim.
Yes.
8 yes.
Okay, Secretary, would you like to come forward, please?
He's done so much for our state.
Whereas John Gale has served as the Nebraska Secretary of State since December of 2000, and whereas he has championed efforts to provide civics education to the state's youth with a goal to encourage young people to become active citizens and lifelong voters, and whereas Secretary Gale has conducted programs and activities to promote civics education for Nebraska's youth, such as Honor a Veteran program, Capitol Forum on America's Future, statehood birthday parties, Constitution Day resources, and graduate level specific online citizenship tests. And whereas he has inspired teachers and students to be engaged in discussions of international issues. And whereas he has provided valuable insight and assistance to help craft resources for Nebraska social studies teachers. And whereas the members of the State Board of Education strongly support his efforts to encourage our youth to become good citizens and lifelong voters. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the State Board of Education hereby expresses to Secretary of State John Gale our gratitude and admiration for his service to the state and the students of Nebraska.
I think that was a voice from North Platte.
Northwest.
Well, I would just like to say how humbled and honored I am by this recognition. Over the 17 years that I've been Secretary of State, this has been one of the high priorities of my office, to reach out and work with the school systems in the state of Nebraska to try to promote a better understanding of civics, a better understanding of American history, the American Constitution, and their obligations as they reach the age of 18 to be good citizens, to be informed, to participate, to be active, and to be regular voting citizens. It's just crucially important to the future that each generation take on that responsibility. The programs that you've cited have all been wonderful opportunities for us to work with your school systems, and they've been incredibly receptive to our programs, and we've been able to reach hundreds of thousands of students over the years. Just the statehood birthday parties alone, we reached 30,000 fourth graders over a period of 10 years with great professional entertainers, wonderful programs. I remember in Scottsbluff we had 1,000 fourth graders at one of our programs.
Oh my gosh.
And that's a rocking group when you get 1,000 fourth graders together celebrating Nebraska statehood. So it's been a great honor, but I deeply appreciate Commissioner Bloomstead and the State Board of Education for your cooperation and help in pursuing the same goals to achieve the same success with our students, to promote a solid educational system that educates them to be good citizens in the future. But it's been a wonderful partnership. Thank you for all the help that you and the school system of Nebraska have provided to us, and that hopefully we've provided a meaningful set of programs for you too. Thank you very much.
Commissioner, do you have a presentation, special presentation and discussion?
Yes, it's kind of an exciting day, I guess, here. I'm really pleased to be able to, I guess, re-announce, anyway, John Pickenpaugh as the 2017-18 Nebraska Milken Award winner. I believe there was a little ceremony where we got to surprise Mr. Pickenpaugh up there. And oddly enough, one of those where the weather was bad and not everyone made it that was supposed to. I know Rachel Wise represented the board in Northeast Nebraska in a great way at that event. And I believe there's actually an opportunity for us to watch a little bit of the video of John's teaching and some of the, you'll get to see some of that. And then we're certainly come on up here, John, and maybe sit up here, and later I'll give you that little award that's sitting up here. Go ahead and come up to the front, because I know they'll have a couple of questions for you.
And the winner is Mr. John Pickenpaugh.
I remember hearing my name, and I was in disbelief, just in shock. I remember going through all the students, walking through them, going up there, and then receiving the award.
In January, South Sioux City Middle School teacher John Pickenpaugh was recognized with the Milken Educator Award. The national distinction and the $25,000 award that comes with it is considered the Oscars of teaching. But any Milken educator will tell you, in order to get here, you have to put the work in here.
come up with an answer that is your homework for tomorrow.
For Pick and Paw, that means getting to know his students before ever starting a lesson.
As an educator, you need to have that relationship with your students first and foremost. If you don't have that relationship, if you just go in there as like an authoritarian figure, they're going to look at you and not really respect you quite as much. But if you have that mutual respect through that relationship, then they'll actually work harder and want to do better things.
The simple concept is the foundation for Pick and Paw's teaching philosophy. It can be seen in every lesson, every day, and the impact is felt by every student.
Every time I'm passing by the hallway, he always like says hi or like he compliments me, which like kind of makes you feel good, you know, like happy. So then you're looking forward to his class.
He gets to know us better, and I think like if he knows us, then he teaches us better because he knows like what we like and what we don't like.
I really try to relate to my students. I think about teachers that I've had when I was younger, and I think about what I liked versus what I didn't like, and then I try to incorporate those likes into my classroom.
Pick and Paw also incorporates real-life scenarios, group work, collaboration, and technology to meet the students where they are and get them ready for life, not just a test.
Is there a right way to learn?
No. My philosophy is kind of like the Reese's, the candy bar. There's no wrong way to eat a Reese. There's really no wrong way to learn.
He also makes sure to have a little fun.
He's one of my more interactive teachers. Like, he talks to us a lot, and he jokes around with us. And I don't know, he's fun.
Because he's like different from every other teacher. Like, people look forward to going in his classroom. Like, I hear like even 7th graders saying like, oh, I want John Pick and Paw as my teacher next year.
My classroom is a warm, inviting place where every student comes in, they feel safe, they're going to have the best experience they've ever had in school.
How's that? Why?
Why? Because of my personality, my style, just getting the relationship built with those kids, getting to know them, and not just being the strict teacher. I mean, we have that respect, but the kids just know that I'm there for them. I'm always there for them.
With the award, Pick and Paw now has access to the Milken Educator Network that helps foster leadership and education reform. He will also join other Milken Award recipients at a forum in Washington, D.C. in March. More information on John Pick and Paw and the Milken Educator Awards can be found on the communications page at education.ne.gov/com.
And right here.
I love it, the bridge got a picture.
Can I fit the picture? Oh, yeah.
Aww.
Missed out on all the pictures before. Whatever you like.
Whatever I would like.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, okay. Maybe I shouldn't have been so.
All right. Well, sit. Okay. Just truly honored and humbled for this award. South Sioux City is a great place to work. If you saw my tweets, if you read them, it was voted as one of the top places to work in the Siouxland area, so I'm very blessed to be working there. Didn't always want to be in education. I got my first degree in business administration. I thought I wanted to make a lot of money, which I was when I first graduated, and I decided that I really wanted to make a difference and inspire more people. And so by being in education, I get to do that every single day. So, are there any questions? Rachel?
I just want to say thank you. It's a privilege and honor that the weather wasn't that bad in northeast Nebraska. sorry for some who couldn't get there, but what was so exciting and inspiring is to see the full student body so excited for you. And it was such a celebration that was heartfelt, and you could see it in the kids' faces, and it was just really exciting. And so again, congratulations. It was an honor to be there.
I was just, well, first of all, thank you for being a great teacher and going into teaching rather than business. So I guess my question is, besides building relationships, we have a teacher shortage, which we're concerned about. What advice could you give a first-year teacher going into the profession so that they have such a wonderful experience as you do?
I would say that they need to be prepared differently. Being just sitting in a room, being lectured by professors and reading books doesn't really prepare you for the on-the-job training that you get when you first become a teacher. I would say that when you're looking at becoming a teacher, there are 3 things that you really need to focus on. Curiosity, passion is another thing. You have to have passion, and then you also have to be a visionary. My wife would tell you that I see something and I usually try and blow it out of the water with the vision that I have with it, and it creates more stress for me, but that's one thing that really helps me.
Well, thank you for that.
And I was assuming this came with season tickets for the Huskers, but it didn't. So if anybody wants to throw any my way, that'd be
President, I'd like to say a few words, just that not
Yeah.
only as a proud superintendent, not only as a proud superintendent of John and others at South Sioux City, but also as a parent. John's one of those educators that has mastered that fine art of being demanding without being demeaning. My daughter was a student in his 8th grade class, and his homework was the first that she would attack when she got home at night, and then she would go further yet, and that's the kind of inspiration that he places in all of his kids every day. And it's much appreciated, very respected by his peers. Those of you that were at the ceremony, thank you, but also just the amount of emails and tweets that I'm sure he received personally. I also received a bunch, just how much respect he has throughout our district and throughout the state and the people that he's touched. And so very much appreciated, very proud.
Thank you.
What a wonderful day for Nebraska, John and John. And I loved it when you both came up and spoke. This whole room just felt the vibe of your courage, your passion, and your vision. And it's just really an honor to be on the State Board of Education, knowing the quality we have in leadership, in government, and in our schools. So thank you so much for sharing your vision. And I expect to see more tweets after you retire. Thank you, John.
Patsy.
Teacher to teacher, I want you to know that every time a teacher is honored, I feel like all the teachers in Nebraska are honored. And so don't be too humble. Shout it out how wonderful you are. And I know we're taught to be humble and to be in our rooms and all of that sort of thing. And because we're educators, we learn that lesson very quickly and very well. But you are the messenger of excellence in education in Nebraska now, and you have a responsibility to tell the world, tell Nebraska how great we are in this state and all the things that we do. And I know you'll live up to that responsibility. I could tell by watching you with your students. You make me want to be back in the classroom, and that's a good thing. So thanks for being here, and thank you for working so hard with the people, with the young people in Nebraska.
Thank you, Patsy. Any other?
Just one quick, I think Patsy brought up a really good point, but also a little bit about the Milliken. Maybe it would be good to just share a little bit about the Milliken and about some of the things that you're going to be engaged in over the next year. And John, I'm guessing you've been updated in some, well, then, Commissioner, maybe you should share a little
But I would tell
some
you,
of the activities that are
yeah,
upcoming.
so I know Laura is really good at the activities, but we have some folks here from who?
Veteran educators, Courtney Matalka and Kent Mann are veteran educators, and if they want to come.
Could you address any of those basic questions about what you get to experience? I have not experienced it.
What is going to happen?
I'd like to, yeah.
Let's go. Congratulations.
All right. So my name is Courtney Matulka, and I had the honor to meet you guys in 2016 is when I came to this board meeting and received my obelisk. If you remember, I had like a 10-week-old baby. So everything was kind of a fog when I came here. So when I walked in this room, it was like, it's like a twilight zone. But it's so fun to be back here today, especially to honor John. It's such a privilege for you to be joining the Milken family. The foundation itself really surrounds and rallies around their teachers. Their whole goal is to elevate you and to expose you to other areas in which you can get involved in education. So, like it was stated in the video, you'll go to Washington, D.C. this month, where you'll get to meet all the other people who won the Milken Award this year, which is a great experience because sometimes you get it and you're like, what does this mean for me? And you just get to meet a lot of other educators who are in the same spot. So that's what happens with the Milken Foundation. They kind of tell you how you can get involved and be empowered as a teacher. And how you can be a leader in the field. But they don't push you into anything you're not ready for. Then as a state, you'll notice that suddenly your name gets trickled out into all sorts of different areas. So it could be being a part of, how Nebraska is rewriting the state standards. They got adopted by the board this fall. So it might be doing stuff on how to create phenomena-based science instruction this next year and coming years. Or it could be your district asking you to step up and lead the charge in certain areas when your district starts to adopt the standards, but it just kind of, your name infiltrates. I remember I got contacted by a blog, do you want to write for us? It could be, I edited some education textbooks, like the Solution Tree contacted me and said, do you want to be an editor? So just, your name just suddenly starts percolating down different chains, and you get to choose which things you want to be involved in and which things aren't maybe your passion. So that's how the Milken Foundation and this award has impacted me.
It's a great journey that you're about to embark upon, and it's a great tradition that's come to the state of Nebraska. The excitement about the presentation will carry on. It's left a mark on you. You won't be able to forget that. I think the most powerful thing about the experience for me is the network that you have already been plugged into. When you go to Washington, you'll have a chance to talk with the other recipients from across the country. That's going to be great. When I was inducted, we had a chance to hear some tremendous keynote speakers, and we also had a chance to go visit the Gates Foundation and look at some of that work. The list will be kind of fun. 2 years after I was inducted, I had a chance to go to Washington, D.C. and sit on the selection committee for the committee that selected the National Science Teacher of the Year. And that was a lot of fun. And had a chance to work with AOL, America Online, when they were putting together some of their educational program formats. And there's the network is kind of this living organism that you can get out of it just what you put into it. So I would encourage you to be active and fill out the profile. It's about 2 pages long, and be ready for the list, the calls, the opportunities that will come from the foundation. It was a great journey, and looking back from when I was awarded the Milken Foundation Award in '96 to now, it's really become a neat tradition here in the state of Nebraska, and just a tremendous opportunity to celebrate education and the work that educators do in our state. And it's kind of neat to have the state board a part of that. So thank you for being involved.
John, first off, I want to congratulate you. But I also want to say that you are amongst a very exemplary group of educators in receiving this award. And I can say that because Dr. Mann was in Grand Island as an administrator when I was teaching, and highly respected, not only by the teachers that worked under him, but by the community. And that says a lot. I just want to thank all of you for the dedication that you have put into education and the commitment, because it's not always easy facing those kids every day. But Dr. Mann, thank you for being the great educator that you were in Grand Island.
Thank you.
My daughter was there when you were there.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Congratulations. It'll be a fun ride.
We're now entering into our public comment period. We will now have public comment period. This period of public comment is available for any person who wishes to address the State Board of Education on subjects within its authority. Please note that the public comment should be on topics related to the State Board's constitutional and statutory authority. Also, let it be known that there is no dialogue between the State Board members and the presenter. Thanks to the members of the public who attend today, we have 2 requests for 10-minute appearances. Could we have Mr. Doug Zabellet?
Very good.
Thank you, sir. Hey, sir, I had a good teacher. Sir, you've been granted a special appearance to comment, and you have 10 minutes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Board of Commissioners. Yeah, my name is Doug Zabellet. I'm the Executive Director with Nebraskans for the Arts. We're a statewide arts advocacy organization. We were started over 30 years ago, a collaborative effort with former governors Kerry and Charles Stone, because they knew the importance of the arts. And then we also grew with a merger with the Nebraska Association of Arts Educators. So I have a number of arts educators from across the disciplines on our board, and that's why they asked me to speak, to talk broadly about this. Because at Nebraskans for the Arts, we believe the arts are an essential part of a complete and competitive education for all students, regardless of where they live or go to school. Nebraskans for the Arts also believes all students need and deserve the chance to reach their fullest learning potential in and through the arts, so that they can leave high school as an artistically literate citizen and to be comprehensively prepared to succeed in college, their careers, and as citizens. Indeed, the future prosperity and well-being of our state, in fact, may depend on that. I came up with that when I thought about college, careers, and citizens. I didn't realize that you had a poster back there. It said that's a focus of college, career, and civic ready. So I kind of like to cover those topics a little bit about how arts education brings out the best in our students in those areas. In terms of college ready, this week, Governor Ricketts tweeted out something about our state's rankings in U.S. News. So I went and looked at that article, and I saw that in education, the state ranked number 15 in pre-K through 12 education. And what I noticed was, we had rankings of number 13 and number 10, respectively, in math and reading scores, but we were only number 32 in college readiness. So I thought about that a little bit, and there's so much research that has been done to show how arts education can help make students more college ready. For example, we know that students who take 4 years of arts and music classes average almost 100 points better on their SAT scores than students who only take 1/2 year or less. We also know that the dropout rate nationally is 4% for students with high participation rates in the arts who are from low socioeconomic status, which is 5 times lower than the participation rate of students that have low participation rate. We also know that low-income students, once they get to college and have that, they've had that background in high participation arts education in high school, that they're more than twice as likely to graduate from college, with 37% versus 17% versus their peers. So we see that arts education can make students very college ready. Now, in terms of career ready, there's also lots of stats out there talking about how business and school leaders are pretty much unanimous in rating creativity as increasingly important in U.S. workplaces. Almost 97% of them agree on that. And while they say creativity is a primary concern for businesses when they're hiring, 85% of these employers can't find the creative applicants that they seek. I thought to talk to you a little bit about that. I probably use more of a personal perspective on that. My wife and her best friend grew up on adjoining farms out in the Blue Hill, Red Cloud area. And I guess they were such great friends that when they had their firstborns, they were only a day apart in the same hospital. So my son Derek was always someone who was always a doodler. He was always doing he loved visual art. He was always drawing. He took all the visual art classes that he could at Millard South and got a fine arts certificate there. He earned a Regents Scholarship at the University of Nebraska, Omaha. Well, when he went there, he decided as a career path he was going to go into geographic information systems. And so he became a GIS analyst, graduated a year ago, back in May, and went on as a contractor with a company that was serving a contract at Metropolitan Utilities District to do some of their, as a GIS analyst. Well, now a couple weeks ago, he told me that their project was wrapping up, and there was 6 of them on the project team, but MUD decided that they wanted to keep him and one other person on board. And these are people who had trainings in engineering and all this stuff, but he said that one of the reasons that they kept him was because of his creative thinking and problem solving. That's just his spatial analysis and things he's able to solve for them while he's doing that. So he's been retained by them at MUD, which makes his mother very happy. Now, my wife's friend, her son Adam, he also enjoyed the arts very much. He had a passion for music. He was a cello player. He also went to Millard South, where my son went to school, and was part of that. I think he enjoyed doing it because he didn't care for his other classwork so much. So when his mom would say, "You need to be doing your homework," he says, "I'm playing the cello. That's my homework." And so, but he followed that passion with. He also went to UNO, and he got a performance music degree there. But one of the things when he graduated. But he wasn't quite good enough, so he'd go play with the symphonies or anything like that. But he applied at PayPal for a job there. And when he was up there, he was competing against all these students that had business degrees and all that. But PayPal said they selected him because of his degree, and because they knew that he had a lot of creative thinking skills and stuff. Now, he's been there for like 3 years, and he's been promoted. Now he has supervisory opportunities there. He's a supervisor there. So. But he told me that was one of the reasons they hired him, was because he did have that music degree and that they knew that he'd be creative in problem solving. So the last aspect I talked to you about, we say we want to make arts education helps make students civic ready. I also think community ready. I think it was very fortunate. We do a Nebraska Arts Award where we celebrate arts education of school districts across the state. And this year, we had selected Dan Hazing and Schuyler Public Schools. So it's fortuitous that he's speaking right behind us. And one of the reasons we selected Schuyler was because they used arts as a path for merging a community that was very rich in tradition with a young, vibrant population of recent arrivals in that community. They've done such an excellent job up there. I went up there and visited the school and saw the great things they're doing. And they offer such a wide variety of classroom and extracurricular activities for their students. And one of the reasons they do this, they say that they have to deal with a lot of complex language barriers up there. And the arts serves as kind of a universal language for the students to participate and engage themselves inside the classroom and within the community. We get so many support letters of it, and one of the support letters stated that what they've done goes far beyond art class, band, music, and theater. They have accomplished the essence of arts education, which is allowing kids to look within, find their truth, and express it in a way that is most authentic for them. Now, the year before, we had given the award to Ravenna public schools. And again, we've received so many support letters from the parents and from the students, and a common theme across the letters was the lifelong impact of participating in arts at Ravenna on the students. One person said, I believe that had I not received such a great education from Ravenna, I would not be where and who I am today. Their arts program is exemplary because of the people they choose to mold the talents of Ravenna's youth. Another person said, Ravenna's Fine Arts Department helped me become who I am today. I know it is the skill set from my high school that has been the foundation to my successes today. And then one other person wrote, Ravenna Fine Arts greatly impacts my life, creating opportunities for me to be successful, encouraging collaboration with others, and helping build me as a leader. So I think that's what we want to help reinforce, that arts education makes you college, career, and civic ready, since I have my cheat notes up there. Now, saying all that, what are we asking you to do? As Commissioner, you also served on a lot of nonprofit boards probably throughout the years. And then what do they ask you to do? They ask you for time, talent, and treasure. And that's what we're kind of asking you to think about here. In terms of time, we would like to have you support the development of comprehensive fine arts curriculum in all schools, looking at Rule 3, the high ability learners, and Rule 10, the fine arts standards that are incorporated into the schools, and see that maybe the fine arts standards can be inside of there. Talent, we can have the time to have people have that in the schools, but we need talented and certified art teachers to be able to do these things. And then treasure, I think just more that when you have, there's lots of grant programs that are possibilities. We want to make sure that arts-focused or arts-integrated projects are included in those grant projects. And I see I'm out of time.
Right on time. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
At this time, we're going to have representatives from Schuyler Central High School in regards to, we originally had scheduled Dr. Dan Hazing, and he was requested for 10 minutes for a special appearance. But in lieu of him, we've granted the appearance of Mr. Rich Bravis. So, welcome, sir. Welcome, Rich. You have 10 minutes, sir.
And thank you for the opportunity. I'm here as part of a group as representative of Schuyler Central High School to provide some insight into our district and to help you understand the challenges and successes we realize with an extreme diverse student population. In addition, we are here to help you understand the complexity of the issues when judging our student and staff performances solely on data that may be taken out of context or possibly even misrepresented. Schuyler Community Schools is a unique school district located at the crossroads of Highway 30 and Nebraska Highway 15 in eastern Nebraska. The community of Schuyler is rich in tradition and history and has accepted the challenge of a young, vibrant population of recent arrivals into our country. Our student population at Schuyler High School has welcomed a shift in demographics where the population in 1994 was at 90% Caucasian, in 2004 at 50%, and last year, 2017, was 12%. Schuyler Central High is now home for students from 11 different countries, speaking 16 different languages. 2 articles included in your packets that the team has provided to you will help you better understand some of the barriers immigrant children and their families face when coming in search of safety, work, and their American dream. Today, our district poverty level is over 80%. And due to recent cuts in state aid of $3.5 million over the last 4 years, Schuyler Community Schools has the 7th lowest per pupil cost in the state. Despite these challenges, Schuyler Central High has been extremely successful in maintaining the 2nd highest graduation standards in the state at 255 credits, second only to Columbus, which has 260. Schuyler also maintains a graduation rate of 20% higher than other highly diverse school districts across the country and has the lowest unexcused absent rates when compared to similar populations. In spite of these funding challenges, Schuyler Central has established strong community partnerships that support college scholarships, and free tuition for college credit classes for all juniors and seniors. In 2014, the Board of Education, with the assistance of the Nebraska State School Board Association, brought teachers, parents, community members, and business leaders together to develop and implement a comprehensive strategic planning process. The result of the 4-year effort and plans for the 2018 year are included in your packets. In 2015, Schuyler Middle School applied for and received a school improvement grant from the federal government. While the federal government funds the grant, Nebraska Department of Education is responsible for evaluation and oversight. The first requirement of the grant was to replace our administration at the middle school and employ the assistance of outside agencies to assist us in goal setting, establishing timelines, professional development, and evaluation of the process. This 3-year grant was validated by NDE officials as one of the most successful school improvement grants supervised over that time period. In the final year of that grant, school administrators and the Board of Education began discussing the feasibility and benefits of applying for a similar grant at the high school. Knowing the complex issues associated with high school programs, the grant was spread out over 5 years. Once again, high school principals were replaced and new administration hired to work with NDE and outside agencies to improve our high school programs. The main goal of the grant was to ensure, upon graduation, that our students would be college and career ready. We currently are in the 2nd year of this grant and have gone through a process of conducting root cause analysis, providing professional development, and implementing programs to increase student engagement. The grant also focused on building stronger student-staff relationships, lowering truancy, improving classroom management, and reducing disciplinary referrals, suspensions, and expulsion. In addition, despite limitations of a maximum levy and reduction in the state aid, our high school continues to expand educational opportunities in the core academic areas, elective areas of the arts, foreign language, health, and vocational education. Central Community College officials report that Schuyler Central has more early entry college classes than any other schools in the area. The School Improvement Grant focuses on student performance in the core academic areas. The strategic plan goes beyond the classroom to support elective courses and activities that meet the basic needs of our students and families. The majority of our students have traveled thousands of miles to a safe place where many have found familiarity and a home in Schuyler. We understand the importance of providing a challenging academic program, but have also learned that outside prejudices, poverty, and language barriers greatly impact our students' academic performance. The recent designation of demographically changing community is a target on our immigrant population, and at a time when our students and families are fighting for their existence in this country. Our students face the reality of deportation, denigration, threats, racial slurs, chants, by opposing schools, go home, build a wall. This scarlet letter of the priority designation has jeopardized the trust of our community, caused our parents to question the quality of their child's education and increased the difficulty of recruitment and retention of teachers. As for performance in ALPA, many of our newcomers are non-English speaking students. Academic vocabulary for these students takes 5 years to reach a level of high school proficiency. Because of the language barrier, a number of the English language learners have found home in the arts. It is the arts that allow them a level playing field to participate, engage, and express themselves through a play, paint, pen, song, acting, dancing. It is also through the arts that we can allow students to create and express their talent through visual arts that depict the thoughts, fears, and hopes and dreams of cultural influences come alive on our walls. When students' confidence is realized in one area, we can often get them to generalize the risk in other areas where success is limited due to their language barriers and prior academic experience. We appreciate the recognition given to our students of the arts. We ask the State Board of Education to respect our commitment to our current school improvement grant and allow us to continue with our goals, plans, and contract providers for the remainder of the grant. We have spent over $1 million on professional development over the last 4 years. We have a proven track record for improving student performance at the middle school and a high level of confidence we will realize similar results at the high school. We request that you consider more than data taken out of context in determining your recommendation for priority schools. In a review of the study, Schuyler Central was the only high school in consideration. Data from the identified elementary schools are incomplete and cannot be compared to high school performance. We want to thank Patsy Coe-Johns for her belief in our students and continued interest in our school. Outside of Patsy, until 1 month ago, no one from the NDE leadership or the State Board of Education has been in our school or took an interest until our district was designated as a priority. We realize the State Board of Education can only take action based on information provided. Our initial discussion with the NDE leadership welcomed a partnership that would provide additional resources to work with us and create a model high school. What has transpired since that initial meeting was negative press on our school district, realization of no additional funds or resources, and strained relationships between the administration at the NDE and our school. We encourage you to review the information included in the packet. Please recognize the effort of our school and our community to provide a quality education for all. Finally, we request reconsideration of the demographically changing status based on the impact of current political discourse and blatant prejudice of this designation. We pledge our commitment to work with the NDE officials as we have in the past. Our staff has a belief there are jobs easier in other schools, but if you got into the business to make a difference, you are in the right place. 25 seconds.
Thank you very much, sir.
I had one last thing. We have Advanced Ed that comes through, and we are accredited through Advanced Ed. That is the highest accreditation in Nebraska. In their closing interview, all members of the team expressed their high regard for our programs and the commitment of the students, staff, and parents and community patrons to be engaged in contributing to the quality of our school.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your time. We will now move on to our regular public comment period. I would like to remind you to please sign in if you've not already done so, and there are sign-in cards at the back table. We have 3 public comment cards turned in, and the public will speak in that order and the cards which they were received. Each member of the public will have 5 minutes to speak during the public comment period. I will announce the name of the speaker and the person who is next, so they are prepared to come forward. Our first speaker is Mr. Jeff Cole. Our second speaker is Rachel Pinkerton. Welcome, Jeff.
Welcome. Thank you all. Appreciate the opportunity to speak today. My name is Jeff Cole. I'm a parent of a high school student, graduating senior here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and just wanted to kind of continue the conversation I started last time and pick up on some of the themes today. And one of the things that I think is so important, and I think that last presentation really encapsulated really well, is the emotional impact of the work that we're doing every day in Nebraska schools. And I think in addition to the local level and a national level, obviously it's been a very, very trying month for everyone involved in public education, and the horrific gun carnage that takes place in our schools is something that weighs heavily on everyone's minds. And I appreciate all of you and the work that you do that is so critical to the future of our society and our democracy by working to provide the safest possible environments for our students. But I think what has really been brought up today is the diversity of programming that is so important for young people as well. And it's so easy to distill educational success into a test score or a number. But I think as we've seen today, the role of the arts in helping to develop the kinds of citizens that we want and need in this society, to be able to continue to provide opportunities for artistic education is so very important. From schools in Lincoln, my daughter is in the IB program at Lincoln High, and the biggest outlet she has is being in the drama program, and that provides a great relief for students who are really given a lot of challenges and stress with a high rigor test environment that they're required to participate in to graduate. And I applaud the rigor that my daughters get at the high school here in Lincoln, and think it prepares them as educators across Nebraska, as we've seen from the Milken Award winners. We have a high-quality system here in Nebraska that we value and protect. But there are things beyond test scores that contribute to that. And I'd say the arts is such a powerful motivator for so many students. It gives them a reason to get up and come to school and enjoy all the activities that they have access to in public schools, not only across Nebraska, but across America. So just wanted to reiterate that, and again, commend you, knowing what a difficult month this has been for everyone involved with public education, and what a challenging time we live in terms of trying to balance the opportunities that kids need to succeed and be college, career, and civic ready, and then the responsibility that we have as adults to provide a safe environment for all youth. So thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you, Mr. Cole. Up next, Ms. Rachel Pinkerton, please. Following is Brent Comstock. Welcome, Ms. Pinkerton.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. I've been coming up here for 6 years now, and my informal education advocacy group, LEAP, Lincoln Education Advocacy Project. We've had the pleasure of having some of you join us, and I'd love to have everybody else join us, and maybe when Molly has a little more time, we can catch her when she's in Omaha sometime to come to our monthly coffee. Our mission statement is that Nebraskans grow up aware of their unique, infinite value, and that despite conflicting evidence and perceptions, objective, knowable truth exists, and that standing for the truth is the foundation of human dignity and liberty. And we keep track on a range of issues, and I'm just looking at our agenda from February 12th, our more recent copy. We were celebrating that the appointment of Ricky Smith to the OPS Board of Education. He happens to be my own representative. I live in Benson, and I had campaigned for Ricky when he ran, even though we're not in the same political party. I have his passion and his vision are compelling. I actually didn't just do lit drops. I knocked doors, which is not fun. Nobody thinks that's fun. It was horrible. But so I was disappointed that he wasn't elected, but I was very excited to see that he is now serving, having been selected. There were several candidates to replace Yolanda Williams, who moved out of the district, and so I look forward to seeing Ricky's work on the board. And of course, you notice there's a new superintendent coming. We're excited about that. Another development was, you may have noticed, the UNO Professor Donna Duffner resigned as Nebraska's American Association of University Professors president after spending a year as president-elect and a few months, and because this was too much, the issue that she was supposed to be defending this person, and that really didn't work for her, so she stepped down. And you have that. We've been watching with interest the LB 1069, the Senator Brush's priority bill that would update our Americanism statute, and happy to see although that did not make it out of committee, and you probably all know this, but it's has 24 co-signers now, and there's something called a pull motion that may yet get this on the floor, and we're hoping for that. We think we need that update of that statute to have as a foundation before you go about your task of creating new social studies standards. On January 24th, Dr. Paul Von Baron of the Coordinating Commission for Post-Secondary Education and I met with Chancellor Green and Executive Vice Chancellor Dondi Plowman to begin a conversation about bias on campus that we believe was revealed by the behavior of representatives of the English department in front of the union on August 25th. And that was, I was expecting it to be enjoyable because Dr. Von Baron and Dr. Green, as I say with nothing but respect and fondness, are a couple of guys who know their way around a feedlot and have, not only do they have a lot of shared experience from their academically, and Dr. Von Baron's a veterinarian, and they also had specific people in common that they mutually respect. And the university is going to do a survey, and we will be scheduling I got an email just yesterday from Chancellor Green, and we're going to do a follow-up meeting to include Deb Port-Smith, who is a former Gallup executive as well as being an education advocate. And you see the Declaration of Mothers from the that we had an event at the Capitol where the governor made a proclamation, and that was fun. And then you see something about content of character, which I'm very excited about. I'd appreciate your having a look at that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Brent Comstock, please. And after Mr. Comstock, we will take a 10-minute break.
Thank you and good morning. Thank you to the board and to guests. As already mentioned, my name is Brent Comstock, and I have notes because I'm a little long-winded. I've timed it, though. I'm an Auburn, Nebraska native and an entrepreneur who proudly supports arts education. Today, I would like to take a few minutes to share with you the importance of the arts education in my life. Throughout my time growing up in rural Nebraska, I had an opportunity to participate in many fine and performing arts programs. In elementary school, my sister and I took advantage of having a piano teacher that lived 3 doors down the street. When I entered the 5th grade, I joined the instrumental and vocal music departments at Auburn, while also picking up a less common instrument for a 10-year-old, the pipe organ at church. When I moved into high school, I was actively involved as an accompanist for the school's musical ensembles and traveled throughout the country performing with various groups at the school. I had the honor of participating in state qualifying one-act teams, speech teams, show choirs, and was a 3-year all-state choir member. Arts education is more than a period in the school day, and more than the 1-hour rehearsal 3 times a week that show choir or one-act practice. It was because of arts education that I received several scholarships to attend prestigious institutions. It was because of arts education that I had an opportunity to meet a wonderful person and the judge for our state one-act competition, Patsy Kojohns. In 2013, I moved to North Carolina to attend both the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and Duke University on a full-ride scholarship. Yet again, my arts education was fundamental to who I was, as I made a home 1,200 miles away from the only community I ever knew in Auburn. I joined a gospel choir and was the children's choir accompanist for a church in Chapel Hill. While I won't admit to it regularly, I also found my musical abilities helpful at the piano bar down the street from my house. Now, as an entrepreneur and a community leader, I see the critical importance of arts education in my everyday life. When I wasn't playing the piano in grade school, I was in the process of building the tech startup that has evolved into what is today known as BCom Solutions. Our company, with offices in Auburn and Lincoln, builds digital solutions for campaigns, causes, and advocacy issues. From corporate America to down-ballot political campaigns, our company uses our understanding of digital media and marketing tactics to build awareness for issues that we find important. As our company continues to grow, I'm reminded of the critical role arts education continues to play in my life today. From an employer's point of view, the benefits of arts education are obvious. In the dozens of interviews we've conducted for interns to part-time employees to full-time employees, applicants who at one time participated in some form of the arts are consistently more articulate, more driven, and more well-rounded than those who did not. Despite all of these great things, I fear that funding for these programs can sometimes be overlooked. Recently, the Here Nebraska publication featured a story on Auburn, Nebraska's lack of an adequate performing arts center. When I was interviewed, I made the case that arts and athletics, both of which I participated in, are seen too often as very different areas of a student's life. Both groups practice daily. Both groups coach the ideas of teamwork, conflict resolution, and ultimately victory. A question I wonder frequently, though, is why is it that most rundown parts of many rural communities and school districts are the performing arts centers? When I drive down a street in a rural community, it's not uncommon, though, to find a brand new athletics facility of some kind. A quote from that article published in January 11th of this year: "We call our Performing Arts Center a gymatorium. Finished hardwood planks comprise the stage with basketball hoops behind the curtains, all before cramped metal and cloth seating. The room doesn't have heat or air conditioning, so it's a little sweaty in May. It feels slightly more stifled. Crowds of parents ebbing and flowing in rows, kids with jackets rehearsing for one acts, hours and hours of holiday programming, performing in a place that was built in 1938. The deficiency is indicative, of the way that many people feel the arts are currently treated in rural communities like Auburn, Nebraska. To be clear, I'm not advocating that funding be reallocated from any department or extracurricular. I think the need for all Nebraska schools to have a diverse set of opportunities for students to learn and grow as young adults is imperative. The work from organizations like Nebraskans for the Arts and many other organizations in the state should not only be commended, but supported in every way possible. For some students in the arts, support means learning an instrument or building confidence in giving a speech. For me, it's a place of formative education that's allowed me to be the person, entrepreneur, and rural community advocate that I am today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Comstock. This concludes our public comment, and we'll now have a 10-minute recess. Okay, return to our action items. Molly, AQuest Student Success and Access Domain Committee. Molly, is there a motion to grant the Commissioner the authority to approve contracts with ESU 2, ESU 7, ESU 10, ESU 16, and ESU 17 to provide assistant technology services to Nebraskans ages birth through 21 as part of the ATP/education program?
I move to grant the Commissioner the authority to approve contracts with the issues 2, 7, 10, 16, and 17 to provide assistive technology services to Nebraskan ages birth to 21 as part of the ATP education program.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made by Molly, seconded by Patsy. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call please, Denise.
Tim?
Yes.
O'Halloran?
Yes.
Co-Johns?
Yes.
Witzel?
Yes.
McPherson?
Yes.
Wise?
Yes.
Fricky?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
8 yes.
Thank you very much. Molly, is there a motion to authorize the Commissioner to approve school improvement grant SIG funds awards for the 2017-18, 2018-19, 2019-20 school years for Lincoln Public Schools for $70,000 and UMO and HO in Nation Public Schools for $40,000?
I move to authorize the Commissioner to approve school improvement grant supplemental fund awards for 2017-18, 2018-19, 2019-20 school years for Lincoln Public Schools for $70,000 and UMO and Nation Public Schools for $40,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Denise, roll call please.
McPherson?
Yes.
Fricky?
Yes.
O'Halloran?
Yes.
Witzel?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Co-Johns?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Wise?
Yes.
8 yes.
Molly, is there a motion to grant the Commissioner the authority to enter into a contract with the Nebraska Department of Labor accepting federal grant resources to create a collaborative workforce investment partners data system?
I move to grant the Commissioner the authority to enter into contracts with the Nebraska Department of Labor accepting federal grant resources to create a collaborative workforce investment partners data system.
Is there a second?
Second?
Seconded. Denise, please call roll.
Fricky?
Yes.
Co-Johns?
Yes.
O'Halloran?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Witzel?
Yes.
Wise?
Yes.
McPherson?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
8 yes.
Thank you very much. For Budget and Finance Committee, I'm asking for a motion to accept the 2017 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, Audit Report. Is there a second?
So moved.
Any discussion?
Pat moved, I'll second.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Yes,
Sorry.
We got it.
very good. Denise, please call roll.
Witzel?
Yes.
Wise?
Yes.
McPherson?
Yes.
Fricky?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
O'Halloran?
Yes.
Co-Johns?
Yes.
8 yes.
Is there a move to approve the consent agenda?
I move the approval of the consent agenda.
Second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Denise, please call the roll.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forget I was first. Tim?
Co-Johns?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Wise?
Yes.
McPherson?
Yes.
Fricky?
Yes.
O'Halloran?
Yes.
Witzel?
Yes.
8 yes.
Is there a motion to approve the future meeting participation?
So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Denise, please call roll.
O'Halloran?
Yes.
Witzel?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Wise?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Fricky?
Yes.
Co-Johns?
Yes.
McPherson?
Yes.
8 yes.
Thank you very much. The next items are information items and written reports for the board and for our information only. Commissioner?
Yeah, all those are provided there, so if you have any additional thoughts or questions, just let me know.
Thank you, Commissioner. A work session will be held on Thursday, April 5th at 2 p.m. and a board meeting held on Friday, 6 April at 9 a.m. in this room. The March board meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.